Hello everyone, I'm NiiNiiFC and this is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm bringing you an essential viewing video, and today I'm discussing Nemanja Matic's £40 million move to Manchester United. Now, I know that he's a very divisive figure among Chelsea fans, but in this video today I'm going to be detailing why he's being misunderstood, why he isn't as bad as what people are saying, what we're missing out on, and why United are going to be strengthened with his sign. Now you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Matic will be completing his move to Manchester United. He has been pictured in a Manchester United training kit. He's just finalising terms on his new contract, so his signing will be announced in the next day or two. But before I address whether it's the right decision to let him go to Manchester United, I have to talk about the misconception surrounding Nemanja Matic. Now, to kick things off with, what is his best role? And his best role is playing as a ball-winning midfield player. And the last time he did that was in the 14-15 season. But what does a ball-winning midfielder actually entail? Well, it means that you're able to win the ball higher up in possession, you're comfortable making interceptions further up, you have the technical ability to then win a ball and lay it off to teammates around you. And really, they're very important in high-pressing tactical teams that want to win the ball in their opponent's half. And, you know, he's the perfect guy to have for kick-starting attacks, because obviously he's winning the ball and passing it to a more creative player. Now, Matic hasn't been able to play that role since the 14-15 season. Now, the 15-16 season was where he developed this terrible and negative name around himself, and I think it's quite unfair actually. And really, the reason for his perceived bad form that season was due to Jose Mourinho's negative tactical setup. Now, it's a combination of things. One, teams knew how to set up against Jose Mourinho teams at the time. It was very easy to play against us, of course. If you parked the bus, we played in front of teams. We didn't have fullbacks that got forward and got past the wingers on either side. Hazard was very isolated out wide all the time. There were no runs being made in behind, so that meant that passing options were very square because, again, all the play was in front of our players. And really, the problem that came with this was that we were more susceptible to the counter-attack. And at the time, Matic was the only guy between the attack and the defence. And because Mourinho didn't really play with any high-pressing system, Matic was always in no man's land. You know, the players further up him lost possession, they weren't pressing as effectively, and our defence was very close to the goal, so Matic wasn't able to single-handedly stop counter-attacks by himself, and in turn, teams during the season got more confident and they were flooding more men forward on the counter-attack. And this is how Matic got an unfair reputation. It wasn't helped by Jose Mourinho scapegoating him in a particular game where he was subbed on and subbed off. With Conte becoming the manager in the 16-17 season, one of the first signings that he made was N'Golo Kante, and Kante plays the same tactical role that Nemanja Matic does. And because of this, Conte had to change how Matic was used in the team. Conte had to change his approach to how Nemanja Matic was used, and he became more of a deep-lying playmaker in midfield. Of course, Kante was used in a more box-to-box role, but he was able to press higher up to win those balls in the opponent's half. And Matic was tasked with playing deeper. Now, he had a lot more defensive responsibilities that he had to commit. And that was because, number one, the left-hand side was fairly weak. Gary Cahill and Marcos Alonso don't complement each other very well, especially on the counter-attack because there's a lack of pace there. Alonso doesn't have that recovery pace to come back and get back into position. Now, that was why Matic was situated there, and he tended to be shifted more to the left-hand side of midfield. And because he's a deep-lying playmaker too, he was actually tasked with sitting deeper compared to Kante. And this meant that he wasn't really involved in too many tackles during the season because his role didn't need him to do that. He was more about providing the stability in the middle and letting Kante get on with winning the balls further up the pitch. Another reason why Conte was comfortable with Matic in midfield was because he liked his defensive acumen, and that's because he knows that with Matic in midfield, he's got a higher chance of winning tackles compared to a Cesc Fabregas. But in a way, Conte was very happy with Matic because he was fulfilling his tactical duties and roles that he wanted. But at the same time, Matic wasn't really showing what he could do, and he had to change his style and his natural approach to how he likes to play to the benefit of the team. But the problem we had was that Matic and Kante aren't best suited playing with each other. They don't complement each other. They complement playing beside a more creative midfielder. When Kante was at Leicester, he had Danny Drinkwater. Matic in the 14-15 season was playing beside Cesc Fabregas. And really, as I said earlier about football being a team game where you have to complement each other's strengths and weaknesses, this is the best partnership. And of course, it wasn't really working because when Matic was winning the balls or Kante was winning them, they were tasked with them providing that creative influence by themselves. But usually they're known for playing the pass to someone beside them for them to do that. Still, Matic has been criticised a lot for his lack of adventure in his passing. But we must realise, is that really fair? He's not known for being a creative type of midfielder, but he was tasked with providing that for the team last season. And this was the main issue that Matic had, because he was synonymous with being a ball-winning midfielder, pressing high, galloping up the pitch, winning the high balls. And instead he was tasked with playing deeper, sitting deeper, and playing within himself for the team. And of course, when he's not synonymous with his creativity already, it's not going to help his reputation. Stats even back this. If you look at the stats last season, out of all the defensive contributions that Kante and Matic made, 63% of Kante's defensive contributions were actually interceptions. That is a lot, and that sums up his role in the team. Matic, on the other hand, was more balanced, and that's the approach that Conte wanted from him. Still, a lot of criticism as well has been really unfair in regards to that we think that Matic is the reason why we lose the midfield battle, which really isn't the case. Now, I'm going to do a video later on in the future discussing why we become so susceptible in midfield when we play against certain teams. That's definitely going to be a video in itself. I can't really explain it in this video, so tune in for that when it's released. Still, the argument shouldn't be made whether Matic is good enough for Chelsea, but it should be in regards to if we actually need him in the team. Now, why do I say this? Because we're playing under the 3-4-3 under Conte, this provides room for a lot of final third runs in the opponent's half, which definitely comes from the wing backs on either side providing that width. Matic doesn't have the ability to play the right pass at the right time. He's pretty methodical in his passing. It's not really his role to provide that creative substance in midfields. Plus, he's very slow at making the right passing options. But again, he's not the type of midfield player to do that. So it is very unfair to judge him in that capacity. And another interesting thing this brings up is, what does this mean for Bakayoko? Well, it seems that surely he'll be playing a more tactical role similar to what Matic was doing last year. Of course, he has age on his side. He's about 7 years younger compared to Matic. Maybe Conte will be able to develop him to become the midfield player he wants, or maybe Bakayoko is going to be the box-to-box midfielder and Kante will be sitting deeper, who knows. But at the same time, if an Alexandro was signed, there might be some variation in terms of what he wants from the midfield for next season. Still, if anything, we definitely are strengthening Manchester United, because when Matic goes to them, he's going to be playing his more familiar, natural role compared to what he's been doing at Chelsea for the past 2 seasons. And there's a lot of dangers with that, because in turn, this is going to free up Pogba. Because now finally Matic has a creative midfield player beside him he can play off, and they can complement each other very well. Matic will be winning the balls high up the pitch or deeper and setting the passes to Pogba. And in turn, that's going to reduce the defensive burden that the likes of Pogba and Herrera have had to have during last season. And a more freer Pogba is going to get you goals, as we've seen with Juventus during this season there. Pogba will be able to play a more natural box-to-box role, and he's going to become a much more attacking attribute to Manchester United's offence. If anything, why are we selling Matic to Manchester United? Well, it's 2 things. One, United are the only club out there paying the money that Chelsea want for him. And number 2, Matic has a good relationship with Roman Abramovich, and Abramovich has a history of selling players to clubs in their best interest. And of course, an example was Petr Cech. When he went to Arsenal, he wanted to stay in London, his family were there. I know Matic wants to stay in England, he doesn't want to go abroad. And I think Abramovich gave the blessing for him to leave and go to Manchester United. If anything, there is a crisis in terms of we're now short in midfield, and this could have been averted completely if Chalobah was still at the club and if Conte had given him more responsibility last season, because there are definitely games where he could have played more or played against some of the smaller teams in the Premier League. But to really close this video off, I think Matic really wants to leave because he doesn't feel very appreciated at Chelsea. Allegedly, I can't really confirm this, but allegedly I have heard that he was promised a new contract in the summer. He was looking to want to get between 130,000 to 150,000 for the week. Chelsea didn't give him that option, but they gave Bakayoko, allegedly, a similar type of deal that Nemanja Matic wanted. And also, Matic hasn't been playing his natural football, and of course players, they read the press, they know what's being said about them. Going to Manchester United, that's really going to complement his style and play, is going to be much more beneficial to Matic, especially playing under their manager. He knows how to use him properly. And the scary thing is, United are signing one of the best ball-winning midfielders in the world, and he is. When you look at his stats compared to the likes of Fernandinho, Wanyama, you know, he's excelled past them, and they're synonymous with being some of the best in the Premier League. And if anything, all I can say is good luck to Matic. He's been a fantastic servant to their club. He's been unfortunate that he's been misunderstood quite a lot and hasn't been appreciated enough. I'm sure it's going to happen at Manchester United now. But if anything, now it's time for us to go into the transfer market. I think the type of midfield player we do need is someone who's comfortable playing in a lot of different positions. I'm thinking of a Brozovic. He's comfortable playing as a wing-back if he has to, and in midfield. And I think our fourth choice option should be completely different to what we have now. We already have two powerhouse midfielders in Kante and Bakayoko, plus we have the brains and the technical ability in Fabregas. If anything, we need someone who can add some variety in how we play and how we attack. But anyway, you guys, thank you for watching my video on Matic to United. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm going to be releasing the Snapchat Q&A out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. So if you haven't sent me a question, there is time, so don't worry, send it in now. I'll pick the best questions and make the video. Thanks for watching the video today. I'm NiiNiiFC. This is Blue Lions TV. Signing out.